What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my Draftkings MMA picks for UFC Vegas 36. We have Darren Till going against Derek Brunson, and we do have a 10-fight card, which should be very interesting. And what I noticed was there's a lot of live underdogs. We're going to talk about a bunch here, but you can pretty much make a case for pretty much every underdog on the slate outside of Jack Shore. I think Jack Shore gets it done, but outside of that, there's a lot of really close fights. So it's going to make lineup construction very interesting this week and a very interesting week as a whole. Before we get started, if you guys can leave a like on this video, subscribe if you have not yet, would be much appreciated. Going live Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and then also Saturday, 1 hour prior to the prelims, doing that new show, Best Bet, where me and 3 other guys go over the best bet for each card. And then if you have not yet, check out the DraftKings video that is posted on Pub Sports Radio, where me and a few guys do go over the DraftKings slate. Me, Uncle Weezy, and Luke from Sparring with Reality, 2 very sharp guys there. And outside of that, it is the beginning of the month, so now's a great time to sign up on the Patreon. Lots of great stuff going on there. $10 a month for the DFS package. With that, you get the fighter stats, the advanced stats, courtesy of Uncle Weezy. Uncle Weezy also does the DraftKings stats, which are very useful. It shows the work rates and all that good stuff. Ton of stuff on that tab, and then also FanDuel stats as well. If you are into FanDuel, you get my targets, my projections, my ownership projections, lineup percentages, rankings, just a ton of stuff there. Access to Discord, lots of great information, and then of course the optimizer, which I did implement into my content a couple months ago, but we just got a optimizer update, so the optimizer is even better than it was, which I already liked it at first, but now I even more like the optimizer. So check that out if you do want to. If not, all good. But yeah, lots of great stuff going on over there. Beginning of the month is definitely the best time to sign up. So we shall get started with the fight doesn't go to decision lines. I do have 3 here. We'll start with Spivak Aspinall, minus 300. Fight doesn't go to decision. And yeah, I think this fight does finish one way or another. I think Aspinall has an opportunity to finish this fight early. If he does not, I do have some concerns about him, as in his last fight against Andrei Arlovski, that was his very first finish outside of the first round, and Tom Aspinall has never won over that 1.5 round mark, and we did see that Aspinall was slowing down a little bit in the Arlovski fight. So if Spivak is able to extend this fight, get it into deeper waters, I do have some concerns with Aspinall, and but I think there also is a very good chance that Aspinall does knock him out. So I do like both sides here. I'm probably going to have more Aspinall, but Sergey Spivak at 7,200, we'll talk about it more, but if he does win, he's probably going to get a lot of takedowns, a lot of control time, and probably be very low owned as well. So I do like both sides. I'm personally picking Aspinall, but I do have some question marks about him. I've seen him taken down multiple times. I've seen him stuck off his back. I'm assuming he's made improvements since then, but something you really don't like to see, especially going against Spivak. But yeah, I think the short notice of Spivak is what I don't like the most, as we've seen him slow down in the past, Spivak that is, and on short notice, wrestling heavy game plan. I don't know if Spivak can actually wrestle for 3 rounds without completely tiring out. So definitely a good fight to target though. Aspinall early, Spivak late or decision. I think both sides have potential to score very good. Getting into the next fight, Modestas Bukauskas going against Khalil Roundtree. Yeah, weird fight, especially considering the fight doesn't go to decision line here. Minus 300. And I can see a situation where Modestas kind of sticks on the outside and moves for 3 rounds and kind of, picks Roundtree apart and wins a decision and scores nothing. I don't know if he's able to finish Khalil Roundtree. Khalil Roundtree has been knocked out once in 13 fights. I'm kind of more interested in the Roundtree side personally. Bukauskas is very hittable, 50% strike and defense. Roundtree is an absolute finisher with a 70% finish rate, all coming by knockout. Hits very hard. So I don't know how much Modestas I want, because Modestas is not going to wrestle. He's not going to go for any takedowns. He's not going to get control time. And I think he kind of just picks apart Roundtree for a decision if he was to win. Maybe finds a late finish, but yeah, not too interested in the 8,500 of Bukauskas. I'm kind of more interested in the dog and Roundtree for the value and for that knockout upside. But yeah, minus 300, fight doesn't go to decision, does seem a little bit off there. And then finally, we have Charles Jourdain going against Julian Erosa. Both guys here are finishers. Jourdain with a 100% finish rate. Jourdain has never won by decision, and Julian Erosa has been finished a handful of times, 5 times by knockout, also got knocked out in the Ultimate Fighter as well, so this guy has a habit of getting knocked out a ton. Julian Erosa is very hittable, absorbing 5.78 significant strikes per minute with a 50% striking defense. I think Charles Jourdain has a very good chance to knock him out. But on the flip side, Erosa is probably going to have some wrestling upside if he does choose to go there. Jourdain has a terrible 47% takedown defense. Erosa is going to be the bigger fighter by, I think, 4 inches in height and then also 5.5 inches in reach. and he throws a lot of volume. But man, Arroza is so hittable. I think the most likely scenario is Jourdain does knock him out. But Arroza, if he does win himself, maybe he can get a finisher. Arroza's a finisher himself. Throws a ton of volume. Well-rounded fighter. So yeah, definitely a fight I do want to target. But I'm personally more on the Charles Jourdain side. All right, getting into the core plays, and yeah, I only have 3 here. I usually have 4, but I was really struggling to find like a 4th core play. I think these 3 are pretty solid here, but yeah, it was really hard to find a 4th because, like I said earlier, a lot of these fights can really go either way. But I do like Jack Shore. He's going to be in the majority of my lineups. Obviously, he has elite wrestling ability, elite grappling ability, and I think he's going to score a ton of DraftKings points here. I just think he's another level above Ludovic Shalinian, who he's not a bad fighter himself, but what Ludovic does, Shore just does much better. I think it's a terrible matchup for Ludovic, and I think the worst part of it is coming in on short notice, right? Like, it's a tough ask already to fight Jack Shore, but to fight Jack Shore on short notice, that's definitely asking for trouble. I can actually maybe see Jack Shore with a late finish, but, takedown upside, as always, from Jack Shore, control time upside as well, and I think he's going to have a massive striking edge also. So I do like Jack Shore. There's not really many, if any, safe plays on the slate, but Jack Shore is the one where I would, consider him safe. So give me Jack Shore. I'm going to have a lot of them. He will be my highest owned fighter, and he will probably be everybody's highest owned fighter, to be honest. I think he's going to be very, very high owned, but for a very good reason. Moving on, Molly McCann, 8,000. Yeah, I like Molly McCann here quite a bit. She's going to have a massive size disadvantage, but, Jinyu Kim is somebody that really doesn't use that size. Kim's actually going to have a 10-inch reach advantage, but, Molly McCann, I do think she's going to be able to get on the inside, and I think a big aspect of this fight is going to be the takedowns. Kim has a 42% takedown defense. She can be stuck on her back, and Molly McCann, she goes after a lot of takedowns. Molly McCann averages about 5 takedowns attempted per 15 minutes, and she average is 1.64 takedowns landed per 15 minutes. So I think a big aspect of this fight is going to be Molly McCann in the wrestling. It's something she does go to quite a bit. And you take a look at who Molly McCann's losing to, and it's grapplers, Tyler Santos, Jillian Robertson, Laura Procopio, fighters like that. So is Kim going to, pose a problem in the grappling? Absolutely not. So yeah, I like Molly McCann here. I think she has a ton of volume upside. She's very high volume. And then also the wrestling upside as well, 8,000. I do like it quite a bit. Next, we have Charles Jourdain, 8,900. He's a finisher, 100% finish rate, and Arroza is very hittable and very, very chinny. I think it does line up well for a Jourdain knockout. Could be early, could be late, doesn't matter, but I think he has a very good chance to finish this fight as Julian Arroza is coming in on short notice. Julian Arroza has no striking defense. He absorbs punches with his face, and he definitely does not have a chin to back it up. So give me Charles Jourdain, 8,900. I think he has some serious finishing upside in this fight. I do like the price quite a bit as well. All right, getting into our GPP plays here, our tournament plays, Tom Aspinall, 9,000. I think he has a solid shot to knock out Sergey Spivak early. Spivak has been knocked out before early against Walt Harris within like the first minute of that fight. I think Tom Aspinall could potentially do the same thing here. Also, Spivak is coming in on short notice, so if Spivak does, go to that wrestling early and often, and if he does tire out, maybe Tom Aspinall is able to find a late finish if Spivak does completely gas out. But yeah, I think Aspinall is definitely a solid pick here. First round knockout upside. I don't hate it whatsoever. I do have some question marks in the takedown defense if the fight does get extended, but he is going to have a decent chance to find the finish early here. So give me Tom Aspinall for the knockout win, probably early, and probably does score very well. Another guy that'll be pretty popular. All right, Paddy Pimblett, 8,300. This fight as a whole, Pimblett versus Vandermeedy, I think is a fight that is going to be very important in terms of DK because there's going to be a lot of wrestling. There's going to be a lot of reversals. There's going to be a lot of control time involved. I think this fight primarily does play out on the mat. And Luigi Vandermeedy, what I don't like about him is going to be the lack of ability to get it down to the mat. 8% takedown accuracy for Luigi Vandermeedy. I think Paddy Pimblett is going to have success in getting Vandermeedy down. He's just going to have to stay safe on top because Vandermeedy is a legit black belt, as is Pimblett. Like, I'm curious to see what's going to happen when this does hit the mat. And there's a really good chance it does because both guys are phenomenal grapplers. But either way, I see this fight scoring very well from a DraftKings perspective. For the winner should, more than likely be able to get takedowns, control time, reversals, tons of ground strikes as well. I don't know if the winner gets a finish. If there is a finish, I kind of more think it's going to be on the Vandermeedy side. Vandermeedy has that 100% finish rate. Vandermeedy is going to have the striking advantage. He has a ton of knockout power. But yeah, I think Pimblett's fine if he does win. Probably a lot of takedowns. a lot of control time. 8,300 is a very good price as well. But yeah, the fight as a whole is something that I think is going to be one to target for sure. Jonathan Martinez, 8,600 here. Going against Marcelo Rojo, first fight of the night. I think there's going to be some violence here. Marcelo Rojo is a kill or be killed fighter. Rojo, an 88% finish rate. I think he's won 1, maybe 2 decisions, and I think they were all like earlier in his career. And Marcelo Rojo has been finished in 5 out of his 7 losses, 1 by knockout, 4 by submission. Martinez, a decent finisher himself, finishing over half his wins by knockout. And like I said, Marcelo Rojo is either going to come in here or get a finish, or Martinez is going to get a finish himself. I've seen Rojo hurt multiple times. Obviously, he just got his first knockout loss against Jourdain, but I saw him hurt bad against Jesse Strader, and I think Martinez definitely has the firepower to knock him out here. Maybe a submission. Martinez does have, I think, a submission or 2 on his record. We've seen Rojo submitted like a ton of times. So either way, I think there's finish upside for Martinez. I think this is going to be an all-out war, and I think someone gets finished either way. I think Martinez is fine at 8,600, and I think he has some finish upside. All right, Darren Till, 8,800. This is very tricky because I think if he's going to find the optimal lineup, it's going to have to be a first-round knockout because, man, is he just so low volume. He lands 2.27 significant strikes per minute. He's going to have 0 wrestling upside. He's going to have 0 control time upside. He's really reliant on that early knockout to find the optimal lineup. And you take a look at Darren Till throughout his entire UFC career, and he's only scored over 100 points one time. So if Darren Till does not get a first-round knockout, even a second-round knockout, I don't think it's going to be enough. He's probably going to bust. He just doesn't throw much. But when he does land, it does land hard. Brunson has been finished multiple times. Brunson is on the chinny side. But if, Darren Till wins like in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round by knockout, it's not going to be enough, especially considering you have Aspen up there, you have Shore up there. So I'm a little bit iffy on the Till side here, but I'm going to play some of them just because if he does get that first-round knockout, it could be enough to find the optimal. But if it does not, I have serious concerns about his upside. And you just take a look at him. He just doesn't score well from a DraftKings perspective, really at all. One good fight. He's had one good scoring fight in his entire career. So, yeah, very scared about this play. I'm probably going to be under the field to it for sure. I think Till's going to have some serious ownership. Till definitely a fan favorite. Till with knockout power. I can see him being a little bit high owned, but for me, I'm probably going to go underweight to it, hoping he does, get a knockout later in the fight. All right, live dogs, and there's a ton of them. You could even add a couple more. I think Dolce's a live dog. I think, who else? David Zawad is a live dog, but I put my top 5 here. So Khalil Roundtree, 7,700, and, it's tough with Roundtree. You don't know which Roundtree is going to show up. Is it going to be the Roundtree that showed up against Anders and looked the best he ever had with 4 knockdowns, or is it going to be the Roundtree that showed up against Marcin Prachnio and looked like absolute crap, just kind of staring at Prachnio for 3 rounds? Both of those could definitely happen. But in this fight, I do think he has some upside here. Modestas is very hittable, 50% striking defense for Modestas. Then also Modestas, I don't think he has the best chin. He's been hurt multiple times. He's been knocked out 2 or 3 times as well. So Roundtree, if he does win, it's going to be a knockout, and it's going to more than likely be a first-round knockout. So he does have some upside. But again, it's just hard to trust him. So I wouldn't go too crazy on it, but I will have some Roundtree because he does have that knockout upside if he does win. I see him getting the knockout, but again, it's hard to trust him. All right, Marcelo Rojo, 7,600, going against Jonathan Martinez. He's a finisher, 89% finish rate. He's going to come forward. We saw Jonathan Martinez get knocked out before just recently by Davey Grant. Marcelo Rojo is going to come forward. He's going to make Martinez uncomfortable. He's going to throw bombs, and maybe he can definitely catch Martinez in this fight, but 7,600, I'm willing to take some shots here. I mean, he's going to fight for your money. He's going to fight for that finish. He's a wild man, and again, he hits very, very hard. I've seen him put guys out cold. So I'll be taking some shots on Rojo for sure, as he does have some finish upside if he does win. I don't think he's the most talented fighter, but man, does he hit like a truck. So I will take some Rojo there, 7,600. Luigi Vendramini, 7,900. Yeah, interesting fight here. Like I said, I think it's going to be one to target. Tons of takedown upside, tons of control time upside, reversals mixed in there as well. And if I would give Luigi an advantage in this fight, it's going to be the striking. He hits very, very hard. He's finished over half his wins just about by knockout as well. And, we have seen Paddy submitted before, but that was back in, I think, 2013. So I don't know if Luigi's going to be able to get a sub here or a knockout. Paddy's never been knocked out. But I can't see this going to decision. I can't see both guys having success. And whoever does win, again, I think is going to score very well. Hard to pick a winner for me personally. I think this is a very close competitive matchup. I'm personally going Paddy Pimblett with not much confidence, but if Luigi does win, maybe he does finish inside the distance. Luigi is a finisher, 100% finish rate, 50% by knockout, 40% by or 44% by submission, and 56% by knockout. So yeah, Luigi's a finisher. So definitely somebody you want to target. I mean, if he does win, there's a good chance it is inside the distance. So, but yeah, either way, it's a fight I definitely do want to target. Julian Rosa, speaking of finisher, this guy is definitely a finisher. Rosa, 78% finish rate, 39% by knockout, 39% by submission. He's going to be the bigger fighter in this fight as well. There's a ton of volume, over 5 significant strikes per minute. Jourdain, no takedown defense, so I think, Rosa, if he wanted to, which would be smart, take down Charles Jourdain early and often. Jourdain cannot stuff a takedown, so that's a path to victory there. And if Rosa does win, maybe he does rack up a ton of takedowns and score decent. Maybe even get a finish. I mean, like I said, Rosa's a finisher anywhere the fight goes. So Rosa's definitely somebody I'm looking at in terms of a live dog, 7,300. I like it quite a bit. And then Derek Brunson, I don't know what I'm going to do with the main event yet. I'm probably going to be underexposed to it by a significant margin. I think there's better fights on the card to target. Brunson, if he does win, though, decent volume, 3.46 significant strikes per minute. Solid wrestling. He does average 3.11 takedowns per 50 minutes. I can see him, if he does win a decision, mixing in takedowns here or there. I personally think he does get knocked out at some point in this fight. But again, if he does win, he has those extra 2 rounds to work with. Takedown upside. So I think Brunson's a solid play here. You're getting some serious savings, $1,400 savings off of Darren Till, who not the highest on in terms of a DK play there, so I'm probably more likely to play more Brunson here just because of the wrestling upside, just because of the price, and if he does win a decision, it probably does actually score decent. So I'll have some Brunson, but not overly high in the main event as a whole. And then Pump Plays, Sergey Spivak, 7,200. Yeah, I don't like that it's short notice. If it was not short notice, I might actually be picking Spivak outright. But yeah, Tom Aspinall, I do have some question marks about the guy. Has never won a fight over the 1.5 round mark. What happens if Spivak's able to take this down to the mat early and often and get this fight extended? I've seen Aspinall taken down a lot more times than I'd like. Remind you, this was 4 or 5 years ago, so I'm assuming Aspinall has made improvements, but we have not seen those improvements yet, which is very scary, especially in a fight like this. Spivak's a very well-rounded fighter. The striking's coming along. The wrestling's always there. But the short notice aspect is what is kind of giving me some serious pause for Spivak. I think Aspinall more than likely does knock him out, but if Spivak wins, it's probably a ton of takedowns, it's probably a ton of control time, and at 7,200, I think it's a very good shot that he is on the optimal lineup in a win, and also would be very low owned as well. I think Aspinall would be one of the higher owned plays of the week. So yeah, I'll take some shots on Spivak in terms of a punt, but I don't like that it is short notice in terms of we have seen him slow down in the past. In the Oleinik fight, he looked about as tired, or if not, more tired than Alexei Oleinik in that 3rd round. And, factoring in the short notice, I don't like it. But if he can pull off a win here, I do think it scores decent. All right, getting into the fade. Yeah, it was really close between Kim and Darren Till, to be honest. But I went with Kim, 8,200. Just don't see myself having much of her. I'm more on the Molly McCann side. Kim, she's not going to go for takedowns here. She has 1 takedown attempt in her career. She does throw high volume, lands 4.50 significant strikes per minute, but no takedowns, no control time, no finish. Yeah, I think I'm going to fade Kim here. I don't really think like any fighter on this card is a complete fade, but if I had to pick one, it would be Kim. And again, it was between Kim and Darren Till. All right, so that's about it. Just want to remind you guys, it is the beginning of the month, so now is a great time to sign up on the Patreon, receive full access to my model. With that, you get the advanced stats, courtesy of Uncle Weezy. Also does the phenomenal Draftkings stats as well, which is very important, and also the FanDuel stats as well if you are a FanDuel player. Premium projections, lineup optimizer. Again, just got an update on the optimizer. It looks pretty sweet. GPP lineup percentages, Draftkings article, access to Discord, and much, much more. Lots of value on there. So yeah, check that out. Link in the description below. And again, tune into the live stream, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, 1 hour prior to the prelims, which I think we have early fights this week. I think the prelims start at 1:30. So if that's so, we'll be going live at 12:30 on my channel. So check that out. If you guys can leave a like on the video, that'd be much, much appreciated. Also subscribe. Again, that'd be much appreciated as well. Good luck for UFC Vegas 36. And yeah, let's make some money and let's have some fun. See you guys.